have you been working on this, and what finally pushed it over the goal line today?
I guess the same answer as always. We talk with the general managers on several different subjects, and it could take a long time, a little while, but I mean it's always usually over a longer time. It just doesn't come together in one day, but we reached an agreement this morning.
What kind of strengths does he bring to this team, really right from the start tonight?
Top line centerman, one of the top guys in the face-off circle in the league. Another good addition to our power play. He's a game breaker type of player. He's a guy that we've had eyes on for a long time. I was doing amateur scouting when he was drafted, and he's been top guys in the league ever since, and we're really excited. He was the guy that we had targeted, the number one guy for our needs, and that's why we're willing to take the risk that it could be just a rental, and it's a cost of doing business. We had to give up 2 good prospects to get him. Ottawa gets 2 good prospects, but I think because of the job that our scouts have done, we've got a good depth on our reserve list, and we have some good prospects left, and they're not all going to fit. So sometimes a trade is good for both franchises, and I think that's the case in this trade. Ottawa gets 2 good prospects and a pick, and we get a really good centerman, and helps us win. We're all in this league to trying to win the Stanley Cup, so this will give us a great addition.
Was there ever any hesitation on your part? You mentioned the risk. Was there ever any hesitation because of the risk involved?
There's always risk involved, no matter what you do. So we're not afraid of risks, but we do our evaluations, we do our calculations on what's best for us now, what's best for us into the future, and then we make the decisions. And you don't make decisions on being afraid of taking a risk, and that's our philosophy. We want to go for it, and want to give this team a chance to compete for a playoff spot first, and then go as deep as we can in the playoffs. And I think Matt's excited about that. He wants to do that. He wants to have a deep run in the springtime here, and so he's committed to that, and we're happy to have him.
Do you have any indication at all that he is willing to negotiate an extension?
No, we have until the end of June to talk about that, and like I said, we have accepted the risk that he could be just a rental, and price of doing business was this, and whenever there's a top guy in the rental market, you're always starting with a first-round pick, and then you're adding something, and this is what we thought was a fair price. And like I said, Ottawa got 2 good prospects, but we have a little bit of luxury there. Our scouts have done a great job, and we have some good prospects left now too.
Now that he's actually yours, can you confirm that you tried last year with Colorado?
No. But like I said,
You're not going to tell us.
I already said that we've been interested in Matt Duchene ever since he got drafted. I was working for a different team back then, but so I've always loved him as a player. I watched him and had him on top of the list. There was Tavares and Hedman that year, and he was right up there, and he's a great player, and he's going to add a lot to our team.
Does this put you in a different position of strength? Now you have him. You also have Panarin, as far as whether to deal with what you want to do with Panarin.
I don't think it affects that at all. We've said right from the start, and I think we've stayed consistent with what we've said about Panarin, is that we're not going to just trade Panarin for draft picks. We're going to keep our eyes and ears open on what the marketplace looks like. That's what we've said right from the start. But it would have to be a deal that we can't refuse. It would have to make sense for now and into the future. So, that's the best answer I can give.
So you are content then if that offer doesn't come along, just roll with what you got then?
We have a good team. We want to win this spring. We want to win. We want to prove to our fan base that we're serious about winning, and we're in it to win it. So like I said, 31 teams in this league are all starting the year thinking that we're going to win the Stanley Cup, and that's what we want to do, and that's our goal, and this gives us a better chance at it.
Did you broach the subject of with Matt today when you called him about the future at all, or
No.
just kind of like leave it just as it is?
Actually, I told Matt the same thing as I'm telling you, that we accept the risk of him maybe being just a rental for the springtime, and we'd like to convince him to stay, but that's another day, and we can talk about that until the end of June. But we're concentrating on today, and hopefully he'll play for us tomorrow. And some immigration hurdles to get through, and we're doing everything we can to get him into the lineup tomorrow as well, and then we'll go from there.
Do you talk to anytime? Usually, coaches or general managers make big moves. If you talk to ownership, does ownership like, yeah, let's go for it? Like you're talking about maybe being all in. We'll see where you are Monday. But have they expressed anything to you? Mr. McConnell expressed anything to you?
Well, ownership's been great to us always. They're always supportive of our decisions, and they want to win. They're all in as far as trying to win the Stanley Cup. And like I said, every time we're making big decisions, they've been supportive. They're great to work with and great to work for. I don't think as a general manager you could be in a better situation.
What does this move do? I mean, assuming that he's here for the rest of the season, what does this do for Pierre-Luc Dubois, someone like that? Like, does it take a little bit of pressure off his shoulders? Do you think a little bit having another guy here?
I think you'll have to ask Pierre-Luc Dubois, but I mean this adds a guy that can play top minutes, so the minutes are going to get divided a little bit differently. And Pierre-Luc's 20 years old. He's got a great future ahead of him, and this will help him too. I think internal competition's always good. Keeps everybody honest, keeps everybody on their toes a bit, and this adds another guy to that internal competition of that ice time that everybody wants from the coach, and it gives coach another tool to have different line combinations and make everybody earn their ice time.
Are you interested to see what Torts does with the lineup now?
I know what he does with the lineup now, but
When Berg, maybe? I mean, because you look at like who's going to play where.
as I said, it keeps everybody honest. He keeps everybody competing for the ice time, and that's the best tool the coach will ever have is the ice time.
What's your feel for the immigration situation right now?
That's out of my expertise, but I know we have great people on it, and they're working on it, and we're putting all of our resources into that process. So I don't think there's anything more that we could have done. I know Peter Lovins is handling it, and our legal department is taking care of it. As I said, I know that they're doing everything they can to make that happen today so they can play tomorrow.
The prospects you gave up, do you think they'll be AHL players?
Well, now they're Ottawa's property, so it'd be tampering for me to start evaluating them publicly. But like I said, they got two great prospects, and I think we have good luxury with our depth chart to be able to make this type of trade. But it's never easy to give up on good prospects and put them in a trade. But sometimes it's a cost of doing business.
Let's come together, Jarmo. When did you make your first phone call, and how much work went into this?
I've talked to Pierre for a while about the guys that could potentially be UFAs. As soon as we knew or found out that potentially some guys would not get signed or could become UFAs, you make the phone call just as a due diligence and make sure that they know that you're interested. So it's been a while. I'm sure he knew, and we talked about it. But then, and I can't speak on behalf of their process of trying to get their players signed. So you have to ask Pierre about that. But as soon as we assume that they're not getting signed and they would be moved, then it gets a little more aggressive, I guess is the word, if you want to use that. But those talks got heated up when we found out that there's a good chance they'll get moved and not re-signed here.
About the draft picks, I mean, that's just kind of the price of doing business when you got a big-time name guy that you're trying to acquire.
I don't think you even get into this conversation unless you start with a first-round pick, and you can look historically on any of this level players that get moved at the deadline, even if it's a pure rental. I mean, it starts with a first-round pick, and then you add to it, and it's a cost of doing business.
And that second-year one, I mean, it's just if he signs here, that's a good thing for you guys, right? I mean, the fact that you have to give up two.
Well, again, it's going to be added cost of doing business with then we have a player for the future as well.